Mario is one of the most famous video game characters ever made. He has had many great games in both 2D and 3D, and while I don't think that 2D games are bad, I've always found myself more of a fan of the 3D games. And if I had to choose which 3D Mario is my favorite, I would have to say it's Super Mario Galaxy. Now, I want to start off by saying that I think all of Mario's 3D adventures are good. Obviously, Super Mario 64 is an all-time classic, but I've actually never played it before. But I have watched about like 3 or 4 walkthroughs of it, so that kind of counts in my opinion. And the same goes for Mario Sunshine. Never played it, but I saw a walkthrough of it and it looked pretty good. Though some of the levels looked incredibly frustrating. Super Mario 3D Land I actually don't have an opinion on. I would assume it was a really good 3DS game, since I have heard good things. Super Mario 3D World I did play however, and I enjoyed it. You know, it had the cat suit and stuff. Though I kinda wish the game would have told us what would happen if Bowser used all the fairies. Because Mario and everyone just kind of assumed it was bad. But like, what would have happened to the Mushroom Kingdom if Bowser was successful? What do the fairies do? Super Mario Galaxy 2 was good as well, but I'll talk about that more later in the video. And I really enjoyed Super Mario Odyssey, and I probably could make a future video about that game as well. So yeah, as I'm typing this out, I kinda realized I haven't played about half of the 3D Marios, but I think I have experienced enough to make a video about which is my favorite. But I don't know, maybe I'm wrong and this video will be poorly received. Anyways, let's get into actually talking about my experience with Super Mario Galaxy and why I like and enjoy it so much. In Super Mario Galaxy, you play as, well, Mario. You're invited to Peach's castle. Her and the Toads are having a star festival, and they're having a good time. Until Bowser shows up and kidnaps Peach. While trying to save Peach, Mario gets knocked off and falls onto a chunk of land. Mario wakes up to see this weird star-shaped creature, which we later find out are called Lumas. After attaining the Grand Star, Mario is brought to the Comic Observatory and meets the character Rosalina. And the game goes from there, as Mario goes to many galaxies, collecting stars and restoring the observatory's star power. As you can expect, or probably already know, Super Mario Galaxy has a lot of cool and creative levels. The ones I remember the most were Honey Hive Galaxy, which, side note, a concerning amount of people considered the Queen Bee to be hot. What's wrong with you? Anyways, I remember the first time playing that level and just having a good time jumping around and being Bee Mario. The other galaxy I remember is Dreadnought Galaxy. I remember 12 or 13-year-old me just thinking the name was pretty cool, and the level itself being really cool too. There of course were some galaxies, or at least some stars in those galaxies, that weren't very cool. Since this game was basically a Wii launch title, Nintendo really tried to show off the many ways you could use the Wiimote with Super Mario Galaxy. Some of it was fine, like shaking the Wiimote to make Mario spin, or pointing the Wiimote at the screen to shoot star bits. But other methods of using the Wiimote weren't that great, such as using the Wiimote to have Mario balance on a ball. I don't know anyone who liked those levels, but I'm sure somebody did. Or sometimes, there would be whole levels where Mario was on a bubble and you had to grab onto stars and carefully get him through the level. Sorry if you were a fan of those levels, but I remember those levels just not being fun at all. Another thing I remember was in one of the galaxies where Mario has to race on a big stingray. I found a glitch. I don't know if it was patched in later releases of the game, or if I can even find a video of it. But I remember in one of the galaxies, if you flew off the water path and crashed into something, the screen would look like a kaleidoscope, and your Wii would freeze. But yeah, the galaxies in Super Mario Galaxy were really creative and fun to play. Well, most of them were. And the soundtrack to this game is really good too. I would play some of the music in this game, but I feel like I would get a bunch of Content ID claims from Nintendo, so use your imagination, I guess. There is also one more thing that really makes Super Mario Galaxy stand out to me from all of the other Mario games. You can probably guess what it is, as everyone else has already talked about it. Of course, I have to talk about Rosalina's backstory. As you progress through the game, there will be moments Mario can visit a library area, where Rosalina is reading a story to the Lumas. It is her backstory about how she became the guardian of the Lumas. Now, the story is fairly basic, but me and a ton of other players have some serious nostalgia about this aspect of the game. While very minimal, these storytime moments gave some extra depth to Rosalina's character, and just the world in general. And what's crazy is that this whole part of the game barely even made it into the game. Yoshiaki Koizumi kinda just snuck this in without telling Shigeru Miyamoto about it. Or it was something like that. Also, I think I said their names correctly, but if I didn't, I'm American and I'm trying, okay? But yeah, Rosalina's story has just stuck with me for all these years, and I really wish Nintendo would do this more often with Mario. But that's just me, I'm a story guy. I like games with really good stories. Now, I'm not crazy, I don't expect Mario to have this gigantic cinematic story, but I don't see how it could hurt. I mean, the Mario franchise has always had fun gameplay and creative levels. I feel like just a little bit more depth with the world couldn't hurt it. Again, I'm not asking for a super strong narrative, just a little more than Bowser kidnaps Peach and Mario saves her, and that's basically it. I don't know, maybe this is a bad take. Speaking of potential bad takes, I guess it's time I talk about Super Mario Galaxy 2. So, 3 years after Super Mario Galaxy came out, Super Mario Galaxy 2 came out. And while I did enjoy it, I liked the first game more. While I wouldn't call Super Mario Galaxy 2 bad by any means, I remember finishing the game and kind of just going, so they got more creative with the galaxies, but they got rid of the deeper story stuff I liked and just added Yoshi. I don't know, like I said, this might be a bad take, but 2 just didn't hit as hard as 1 for me. Honestly, it was really weird. A couple of years ago, I was watching Game Grumps play 2, which I don't know if I would recommend it, since Aaron is the type of dude that needs the yellow paint in video games. Anyways, I was watching the playthrough of the game, and just a ton of it just didn't feel familiar at all. Like I know I played Super Mario Galaxy 2 and beat it, but I just forgot so much about it. And when it comes to video games, I have a pretty good memory. But for some reason, my brain just forgot a lot of Super Mario Galaxy 2, so it was a very strange experience. But for some reason, if you haven't played both the Super Mario Galaxy games, I would recommend them both. Just me personally, I think 1 is just more special than 2. So yeah, Super Mario Galaxy is my favorite 3D Mario game, and I'm not sure if that's ever going to change. It was such an awesome experience. I really loved Rosalina's story, and I totally forgot about the part at the end where, I mean, this is a spoiler, but the game is close to 20 years old. God, I'm getting old. Anyways, that part at the end where you have to say goodbye to the Lumas and that piano song plays still kinda gets me. That was really messed up. Nintendo didn't need to do that. But yeah, Super Mario Galaxy just really is a game I don't think I'll ever forget anytime soon. Anyways, that was the video. Sorry this one took longer to come out than the previous ones. My older brother quit his job, and he's the loudest person on earth, and was just never leaving the house. So I just couldn't really record anything for about 2 months. But anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did enjoy this video, then don't forget to leave a like, comment, and maybe even subscribe. I have been Crazy Blood Monkey, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.